Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Backwoods Brothers. And we're here with my man
Tony,
and I'm Joel. And by the way, you may have seen recently I put online a beard contest.
you did?
Yeah, it was
Do
like it was a midnight afterthought.
It was a midnight afterthought.
Yeah, and so I've been trying to get engaged more with the audience, and so I'm like, hey, what better than a beard contest? And so the beard that night was a little bit scraggly, and so I went and got the haircut today and had him touch up the beard a little bit. Now it's a little more shaped.
This is what he really wanted. He really wanted a little bit of recognition for his beard. That's
It's a beard, man.
You were looking for some recognition for your beard.
Honestly, I gotta see all the different beards out there so I can get a better idea where to take it.
Absolutely.
And that's where my wife is like not trying to braid the damn thing.
She talked to you about braiding it, didn't she?
Yeah, I woke up last night in the middle of the night. She was like trying to braid the thing. I'm like, what are you doing?
We don't want to hear what you do in the middle of the night.
Oh, I wasn't gonna go there, but no.
Hey guys,
This is a clean family show. We shouldn't be doing that.
We are a clean family-esque show.
Family-esque.
And we're glad to have you on. Hey, Joe, bro.
Yo.
Bro, guess
Whoa,
what? You are not, I shouldn't even say it. You told me not to. Anyways, hey, we are actually on YouTube. We are on Facebook. We would like for you to like, share, and subscribe. And I want to challenge you to at least get 5 other people. If you love us and you want to see this channel grow, get 5 other people that you can talk to that will like, share, and subscribe. We have some good stuff coming up.
So what Tony is actually referring to, what he started to say, but
I almost did.
He was going to ask me before the show, like literally 10 seconds before the show, what can I mention about what's coming up when I cannot mention what's coming up?
Go ahead, boss.
So,
go ahead, boss.
I'll mention a few things and we'll go from there.
Yes.
We are currently in the process of working on, it's not ready fully yet, but an actual podcast version where this is like more like a video cast. I kind of feel like we're leaning on this one, doesn't it? I feel like we're kind of leaning.
Lean on me. I'm leaning on the screen, sorry. This way. Okay.
I'm not leaning that close to you, man. You got bad breath.
Dang it.
But anyways, so we're working on the actual like podcast. Like you can listen to it on like Spotify. You can listen to the show on Apple.
Did they finally get back to you?
I don't know. I didn't actually check that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apple's broken from the ground up anyway. So
well, that's his opinion. See, and this show's about opinions, and mine is always right. Go ahead.
I just want to move more than. I'm in the screen now.
He loves the screen.
Anyways,
tell us more.
So we're working on that. We also it's like through RSS. Technically, we already have a couple episodes up, but we have to load and convert and load all the back ones. Yeah, which is
awesome.
There's like 35 live episodes for us, and we're gonna do also Brandy's show's gonna go on there as well. And then we'll have all the future shows going forward. And that way, if you don't get a chance to actually watch us, but you like to listen, you can see us on Spotify.
Speaking of Spotify, we had a guy on our bus, because I ride the bus all the time because I don't drive. I was coming back from Gresham, and a guy on our bus stopped me and said, hey, the bus driver did stop me and said, aren't you a part of that show called Backwoods Brothers? I'm like, how did you hear about us in Gresham? Well, that's pretty cool.
Stalker.
But he said one thing. Yeah, he said one thing, and this is what he said.
We love you, man. Thanks for watching.
Love you. Thank you. But this is what he said, bro. He said, I can't hear Joel. So you guys, this is what we're going to do. We're going to I Can't Hear Joel campaign. We're going to start a Can't Hear Joel campaign. So whenever you can't hear him on Facebook, whenever you can't hear him on YouTube, y'all need to speak out. Because
it's actually hashtag Joel speak the hell up.
Hashtag Joel speak the hell up. And that is right. So we want to make sure he does that because we're going to be on Spotify. We want to hear him.
Hey, I'm like uncomfortably close to this mic tonight. I'm having like a what do you call one of those things, like an affair with my mic tonight. That's how close I am to it.
Affair with your mic tonight. Wow. I think should we start the show?
Oh, we are starting the show.
Before you become one with the mic.
Yeah, but there's a few other things to announce as well. We have a show. We actually already filmed the first couple episodes, but it's currently in production. So hopefully that'll be coming out in the beginning of next month.
Yes.
I'll tell them the name, but I'm not going to tell them much more. It's called the Backwoods Social Project, or the BS Project.
The BS Project.
Let your mind wander on that one.
All I have to say is it was fun doing the first one. It was so much fun.
First two. We already filmed
two.
trips.
We did the first 2 shows already, didn't
Yeah,
we?
yeah. And we're going to be filming more soon.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And so we also have that coming up.
We're reaching 1 year of completely
Yeah.
Backwoods Brothers. We're reaching 1 year of Backwoods Brothers.
On
February,
the 20th of next month, I think, is our 1 year anniversary.
which is a Sunday
from our first show.
from our first show.
Yeah, so
1
we
year, man.
might do something special on that day. I don't know,
Yeah.
Maybe Tony might do a dance online or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no one wants to see that. I'm going to do a dance online. It's going to be on Spotify. Too bad you can't see it. You can hear it, though. Maybe. I don't know.
You could do the whole... We did them on New Year's Eve.
We did do that on New Year's Eve. Our New Year's Eve show. Check it out.
And hopefully every show we've been improving and getting better on. Our audience is growing. We love you all. You guys are awesome. Please keep watching and keep sharing and liking and subscribing. But also we're coming up with we've been talking about a little bit over time, but we're doing a Patreon thing that's coming up. And the Patreon thing will allow people that want to see things like, I don't know, behind the scenes, some extra videos and things that never made it out to public, other original drawings and all sorts of other stuff, longer episodes, things like that.
Brandy's art project
it's gonna
that
be,
she never got done on her show.
Well, those things are all going to be in the Patreon stuff.
Yeah.
So that way, Patreon, it gives you a chance to pick tiers, and the higher the tier you get. And
yes.
So it's a chance for us to help raise some money, but also gives you guys a chance to see stuff extra as well.
Yeah.
So.
And we're growing in shows, but I can't talk about all of them except for Brandy's tomorrow night.
Yep, we have a show coming tomorrow night. The VS Project is another show.
Is another show that's
we
starting
have
up.
We have another show we're working on. I've mentioned it a few times.
We're talking these 2 guys into it.
Yes. Yeah. Basically, we're in negotiations. They call it negotiations.
Negotiations. Oh, yes. We're big time now.
Yes, we're in negotiations to get a third show with 2 hosts that are not us, but I guarantee you'll love them.
These 2 hosts are making us work really hard for them.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We're almost begging. Joel's almost begging him.
I had to get knee pads. Went on my knees. Please.
And one's a natural.
I
mean, both of them are natural.
Whoa, they're both natural.
Really natural.
I love the contrast in the personalities of how they are. I think they'll fit well
together. It's gonna be exciting, but we're gonna keep you in limbo.
Yes. So that's what's coming up. But tonight we're not talking about what we're doing coming up. We're talking about what's actually on the table.
Assault on Fatherhood.
Assault on Fatherhood. Yeah. And we're not talking about like the flavorful salt. We're talking about like
assault. Literally an assault.
Like 3rd degree.
3rd degree. Assault.
4th degree. 25th degree.
Yes, 25th degree. And this assault's been going on for a long time. It's progressed.
Yep.
No pun intended. Progressed. And it even progresses even today through things like BLM. And that's not BLM land. That's Black Lives Matter. And through other movements. But really, I want to draw attention tonight on my part to BLM. I don't think I've ever said anything emphatically clear about BLM until I saw that men were left out of their mission statement. I actually have that there. They recently changed it, but still men are not in it. And it's actually thrown up on the screen. So I'm actually going to read it to you in a second. But you take a look at that while I'm talking about that. Because, long story short, bro, I grew up without a father. I was one of those fatherless kids growing up in foster care in Washington, D.C. Never had a father.
Yeah.
But now, since I've become a father, I realize how important it is that my role is in my daughter's life. As a matter of fact.
Well, I mean, I couldn't agree more as a father. I mean, my daughter is constantly, coming in and wanting to be around.
There,
yeah. And I forgot to throw our pictures on up there too that you gave us.
That's okay. But what were you saying?
I'll put them on for after the show. But yeah, she's constantly coming in and talking to her different things. But I've noticed over the years that dad has a role, mom has a role.
Yep.
Mom is the comforter. She's the lover. And
the nurturer.
The nurturer. And there's going to be more talk about that from Brandy's perspective tomorrow on her show.
Yep.
But the father, they're there for structure, order, protection, guidance, foundation in that area. That's kind of the things that they're meant to bring. They're supposed to be the spiritual head of the household. Those are the type of things that the father's meant to bring. And you were talking about BLM, which I thought was kind of interesting, and the approach that they would take, because they're meant to be the Black Lives Matter, but you think they've taken the history of the successfulness of black families. So
you found some statistics earlier.
I did,
thought
yeah,
would be
yeah.
really good for you to share
Um,
before I share the mission statement.
Exactly. So I'm going to actually read what this says, so I get it specifically. Okay.
Mhm.
It says it is important to realize that things weren't always so, as far as like there was with problems in black families. With the statistics, I'll read to you in a minute. The Black American family provides a stark example. In 1890 to 1850, black women had a higher marriage rate than a white women. In 1950, just 9% of black children lived without their father. By 1960, the black marriage rate had declined but remained close to the white marriage rate. In other words, despite open racism and widespread poverty, strong black families used to be the norm.
Mhm.
But by the mid 1980s, black fatherlessness skyrocketed.
Mhm.
Today, only 44% of black children have a father in their home. In unison, the rate of black out of wedlock births went from 24.5% in 1964 to 70.7% by 1994,
Mhm.
roughly where it stands today. And so one of the contributors, this is from a site, the site just
Oh, you asked me what was one of the contributors.
yeah, what was
to
one
it.
of the
Yeah,
I'll give the go ahead.
yeah, that was a good picture of us. Thank you. But yeah, one of the
What was that?
yeah, there was a picture that came up on the screen of us. It was great. I loved it. So look, no, it wasn't. It wasn't.
I don't think it was us. Could
It
you
was so appropriate.
Pop that back up again.
Pop it back up just for a second as we get into that. Pop it back up.
I don't think that was us.
Oh, it was our thumbnail. It was our thumbnail.
Oh, okay.
So no, you asked us what was one of the leading contributors to it, and I thought this. Black families were really the pillar back during the times of slavery and the because dads and moms came from this religious background where not only was there an emphasis on the family, there was an emphasis on raising kids the right way. And so because the black community, we come from such a lineage of religious belief, we believe those things that now we have gotten away from, which was the strength of the family, was a monogamous relationship, was a relationship where it was father, mother. And by hook or crook, you stayed together. As a matter of fact, there was in Living Color, it was a long time. I don't know if you remember that show.
Oh, yeah.
Living Color.
I used to watch it as a kid.
Huh?
I used to watch it as a kid.
Yeah. There was this one skit that this black female and the black male goes, they fought all the time, but every time the camera panned to them, they were like, we're still together, and we're still together. Because there's such a strong emphasis on no matter what happens, you stay together.
Yep.
But when you told me the reason, I'm not going to share it, you're going to share it, but when you told me the reason why, it wasn't a surprise to me.
Yeah. Well,
it's sad, though.
The site that I got this from, just to kind of give an idea, it's called ifstudies.org. And I can drop the link later onto the website.
Yep.
But the reason that they found, and they said it was just a contributor, they believe.
Did I say monogamous? I'm sorry.
Monomina?
Is that when monogamous is one person? Yeah. Okay, go ahead. I was right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's polygamy is
the other.
Poly from multi.
Yes.
Mono is one.
Yeah.
So
I was right.
I know things.
You do know things. You're a big kid now.
Yeah. So one contributor to family breakdown, which soon spread to the poor and working class white family, may have been a welfare expansion. Cash welfare in meager form existed since 1935, and some welfare expansion took place during the Kennedy administration, but under Johnson's Great Society, which began in 1964, benefits became substantially more generous and came under greater control of the federal government.
So welfare.
Welfare.
Which has messed up the country anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of things messed up the country.
You mentioned welfare real fast?
Yeah.
Welfare is actually kind of, so I'm going to tell you a story real fast. Me and my wife, we were down on our luck as pastors, and I was considering getting some help from the welfare system. Guess what they told me?
What's that?
In order to get what is actually a substantial amount for myself, I would have to divorce my wife.
How messed up is that?
I would have to divorce my wife. That's the attack on the family.
Well,
I had to divorce my wife.
Well, let's take a quick look at a statistic I have here.
Okay.
In fact, if our producer could actually pop it up, it's the one with the 3 bars on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the last of the 4 there. Yep, that one. It says adults basically 18 to 55 who are currently married. The poor are 26% are married,
Mhm.
working class is 39, and 56 is middle upper class percentage of people that are married. So it's basically showing that families that are together tend to do better financially as well, and that's because families that are split apart I think are more driven towards the welfare based
Yes.
upon
And fatherless homes.
yep,
And
and
fatherless
also
homes.
not two-person incomes,
And yes. Yeah.
two incomes for two household incomes.
Yeah, welfare. That's my problem, people, with welfare and what we call reparations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, can someone literally pay for all the injustices done to a specific race? And should they?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go too far in that. That's a whole nother show. But I want to talk about BLM a little bit.
Yeah. Please go into
So
that.
I'm going to go back to. So it was actually put up here earlier, but it was changed. But I went to the website of BLM.
Yeah.
And they've changed it, but this is what it was before. BLM's mission statement was to say, we affirm the lives of Black, queer, trans folks, disabled folks, undocumented folks, folks with records, and women. So I want to actually stop there for a second. Folks with records, I just want to underscore that. And women. And all Black lives along with gender spectrums. Our network centers on those who have been marginalized within Black libertarian movements. And this, and I actually put under here the greatest pandemic is Black fathers not in the home, by the way. But now it says this. This is now the way it reads. It says, we disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure required by supporting each other as extended families and villages. Going back to it takes a village to raise a child, but not a family. That collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, now parents must include dads, I don't know. Mothers, parents, or I don't know what that means. And children are comfortable. So that's the way it reads now. Mothers and parents. So I think you're the and. I don't know. Well, you're not the and because it's actually supporting Black lives. But you're not the and. But I guess I must be.
What are you trying to say?
Your life does matter, but not according to Black lives.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I can't say that, but I can say that in some ways. But and parents is my problem. My problem's the whole thing too. But and I do not adhere to ideology from the Black Lives Matters movement at all. At all. I don't. Ever since George Floyd, I don't really see how it's helped Black lives. I don't see if you want to help Black lives, then get fathers back in the home.
I couldn't agree more. If
you want to help Black lives, then get us to work. If you want to help Black lives, then teach a man how to fish instead of fishing for the man.
Exactly. I want to read you another statistic here. Independent.org had this to say about fatherless homes.
Okay.
And this kind of crosses the barrier for all basically Black or white or Asian or anyone like that. It crosses the spectrum of that. Mm-hmm. Virtually every major social pathology. I'm going to read this again. Virtually every major social pathology has been linked to fatherless children. Violent crime, drug and alcohol abuse, truancy, unwed pregnancy, suicide, and psychological disorders, all correlating more strongly with fatherless than with any other single factor. Tragically, however, government policies intend to deal with the fatherless crisis have been ineffective at best because the root cause is not children abandonment by fathers, but policies that give mothers an incentive to initiate marital separation and divorce, which goes back to you're talking about the welfare piece and that's the effect it's had on Black lives. Yeah. But the fact is that all the problems and some of the things you were talking about, you mentioned with like the with the record and things. Yeah. It comes back to the fatherless homes because according to what the statistics said inside of this website, a lot of those key things like violent crime, drug and alcohol abuse, etc., stems primarily from a fatherless home.
So to piggyback onto that, an NFL athlete, Marcellus Wiley, do you know him?
It sounds familiar, but I don't know.
Well, this is how he actually explains BLM's explanation of the family structure. He said, Marcellus said this brilliantly. He explained that children from broken homes are 5 times more likely to commit suicide, which we don't use that word commit anymore, guys. We use that word death by suicide. 6 times more likely to be in poverty, 9 times more likely to drop out of high school, 10 times more likely to abuse chemical substance, 14 times more likely to commit rape, 20 times more likely to end up in prison, 32 more times likely to run away from home. Far from taking the responsibility for the children, BLM's proverbial village usually swallows up the whole. Family transmits culture. Family cultivates empathy. First and foremost, the nuclear family is a civilization's primary means of culture transmission. Parents pass on their values and faith and traditions to their children, who then do the same for the next generation. A person's politics, religious beliefs, and life goals are largely determined by the parents who set the expectation. And I'm going to say this, and I might step on some people's toes, but this is what he says. Whenever a school might teach or the church might preach, parents usually have the final say for a child growing up, even after becoming teenagers.
Yeah, well,
the
yeah,
importance
definitely.
of the family.
The family, definitely.
A two-part family.
Exactly. You got to have the balance in there. God created the family and marriage and that structure for a reason.
Now, some may say, okay, Tony, what do you say about those who have gone through divorces and by outside of their own control find themselves a widow or find themselves in all sorts of circumstances? You know, we're not going to put everybody. What we're advocating for is a 2-parent home. So that's where I'm coming from. Is a 2-parent home is vital to society and to our kids. But there are some external circumstances that don't allow for that always to happen. Like in my own case, I grew up without a father.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's not everything. Not everything is obviously going to fit in a perfect box. Not something society tries to do for us.
Right.
But that's also why God has a personal relationship with us. 2 Corinthians 6:18 says, "And I will be a father to you, and you shall be sons and daughters to me," says the Lord. So, but to kind of build off of what you've been saying, yeah.
You know what? It's really funny you said that because I actually have some scripture to support that too.
Oh yeah, I got one too. I also want to throw this at you.
Okay, go ahead.
Proverbs 22:6 says, "Start your children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it."
Damn, did you just you stole my notes today, didn't
I
you?
did not. These are my notes, man.
He stole my notes today because Ephesians 6:4 says this: "Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and in the instruction of the Lord."
And so we did our own research like we usually do. We make our own notes.
Yeah.
But I think we might have run and got some of the same research. Because let me guess, the next one on your notes says Proverbs 1:8.
No, actually, 22:6. But you read Proverbs 1:8.
Okay. Well, I don't want to go through all these. I want to save some of these for a little bit later.
Save them.
Yeah. So
we just want to throw some scripture at y'all.
I think we're doing some of the research in the same areas.
This is pretty awesome, man.
Yeah. But yeah, in my home, I think it's important. And my wife and I, we understand and believe it's important to teach our daughter early as possible things like try to have manners and try to respect others. It's not perfect, and we don't always have the right answer to it. But for example, my daughter understands. Hey, when it's serious, you say yes sir, yes ma'am. When to acknowledge that you're actually listening and that you understand it's serious. We thank you and please or something that we press heavily in the household. Trying to get my daughter to flush a toilet is something I'm working on. Yeah. For some reason, that's the hardest thing is to get kids to flush a toilet. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I like to have, and I have a background in the military. I like structure and order.
Yeah.
And I'd like my daughter to have that structure and order, that if she's instructed to do something from mom and dad, she needs to follow the instructions and move on from there. Or there's rewards and consequences, and every action has a reward or a consequence to it. and mom is taking the other side where she's got the more softer approach, the more loving approach to it, and dad, it's a difference in that balance, but because of that balance,
You said something more loving approach. Don't you view both your way and her way just as loving?
yes, I may not be using the right word for more loving, but what I meant is a softer approach.
A softer approach.
Yeah, and so while sometimes when there's no communication between mom and dad, that can be taken advantage one way or the other.
Parent splitting.
At the same time, though, but when mom and dad are talking and they're on the same board,
Yep.
that actually brings a good structure to understand. Hey, here's the structure piece, but there's also there's another side to it as well.
I love the balance of our wives because they see things that we may not see. We see things they may not see,
and
that's
they
the
tend
beauty
to
of
slap
it.
us aside the head when we're doing something stupid, right?
Well, in your home, you're always wrong, but in my home, I'm always wrong too.
Hey. I know who the real boss is. She lets me think I'm in charge, and she says it out loud.
Yeah.
But I know she's a lot smarter than me.
Yeah.
And her thoughts, she makes me think they're my thoughts.
See, but we have this thing about balance. Everybody is looking for balance, yin and yang. Remember?
Yep.
So, but why is it so topsy turvy when it comes to the home?
Well, the foundation, first of all, is founding in Christ. You got to have a foundation in Christ for the home.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, you got to have a family structure built upon that foundation. And then you can start to build other things on top of that, like your kids and how you teach them that foundation, and let them have the foundation to rest on. But when you're missing a piece of that foundation, especially for me, missing the core foundation of Christ, the homes and the families tend to crumble.
Yeah, I know Brandy's going to talk about this tomorrow, but
Yep.
in my area of work, in my line of work, and I'm sure in many of our lines of work, I see so many kids right now suffering from things that they're inundated for my daughter is literally trying to decide who she is in this world. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that she has the model of both my wife and myself to show her both parts of herself. Because they're literally kids about her age and younger are making decisions about their own identity, making their decisions about their own choices. Yeah. And I don't want to get into Brandy's thing too much tomorrow, so I don't know what she's going to talk about.
Well,
but I hope she hits on this because our kids are literally inundated with information that can send them in sensory overload as to find out who they are.
Well, exactly, and that's the thing is that the world's trying to step in to take over our responsibilities as fathers and as parents.
Well, they're making us mothers.
And
yeah.
What I'm saying is they're even then they're trying to step over and they're trying to incorporate themselves into something that was always meant to be. And the parents. Now, I get there's certain times when there's an actual problem in the household where there's abusiveness and things like that.
Absolutely.
That there should be society should be stepping into that point to protect.
Well, I'm adopted. Someone stepped in for me.
Exactly. So I'm not saying that should never happen. What I'm saying is they should not be stepping in to where there's a solid family out where the balance is already there, where the family's there, and they shouldn't be intervening in that. They should be supporting that. And the fact is that they so quickly want to intervene because it doesn't fit their mold and their box.
Exactly.
Couple quotes from our guests and stuff, because we are coming up here on the break here. Actually, we got a little while. I forgot we're an hour and a half show. We're an hour and a half show now. We got a little while till the break still.
He's ready to go to break. He finished all his research. He finished all his research, y'all. He's like, okay.
Oh no, I got a whole lot. I got a whole lot more.
Yeah, I got a whole lot more. Do you see that? Yeah, okay. You can.
Let's see. This one says, this is the husband and wife, not sister wives and brother husbands. Brother husbands. I have my brother here, and I'm a husband.
Sister wives and brother. Okay. What?
I never heard of brother husbands. That's the first time I heard that. Sister wives.
Oh!
I knew they're talking about polygamy versus.
I was going to say, bring me the punchline. But
that was
polygamy. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So from the movies, The Natural with Robert Redford, talking to his childhood girlfriend, when Rory asks if the boy is his father, Iris responds, "No, his father lives in New York." Iris then looks at Roy earnest, nearly pleading, "But I have been thinking he needs his father now. He's at that age." Iris sees the pain in Roy's expression and understands when we were kids, Roy's father passed away, and he said, "Sure, a father makes all the difference." So that was a comment from a guest.
A father makes all the difference.
A father. I think we could have summed that to that one. Is definitely a father makes all the difference. So.
A father. Yep. Yes.
So another comment here says, when I was in charge of our gang unit in the police department, I dealt with lots of gang members. Some hardcore, some only 14 or 15-year-old, and 3/4 of them had no father at home ever, or their father was in prison or just never hung around. And that's why they joined gangs to find a home, like surrogate fathers.
Fathers provide a sense of safety. Fathers provide a sense of purpose of self. Fathers install into their young ladies and their young men just a foundation of strength. And a mother rounds that strength off with now this empathy piece.
Yes.
And whatever they share. You can't have one without the other. And you see so many gang members without fathers, and they do look for it. They look for that
they're
family.
Looking for that structure, that order.
Yep.
So they get the empathy from the mother at home, but they need that structure and order and male acceptance, I think is what it is too.
Well, you said male acceptance. I looked up what a male is, and there's a whole lot of
I'm afraid to hear what came up on that Google search.
Left-leaning and others leaning, but it's a whole lot of negative about a man. A whole lot of negative. Remember we had that show about toxic masculinity?
Yeah.
Do you remember that show? Way back we had it.
Yep.
And we had two fathers that were a drill sergeant, and one was a Army paratrooper. Yeah, it was a paratrooper. And those was two strong fathers. And we had a discussion. You want to go back and look at that with these fathers who are two strong men, but definitely both of them have very strong marriages. And we talked about what a man really is, what a man looks like in his role in society. Right? And so I was going to bring up one more thing, too. Growing up without a father, myself, I had to learn how to be a man. I had to learn how to be a father. So my mother always made sure that I had strong men around me. Uncles. And you know what? In the black community, we had uncles. No, maybe this is what they mean by the village. Because in the black community, we had uncles and aunts and grandmas and godfathers.
You had uncle grandmas?
No, we didn't have any uncle grandmas. No, that's a thing now, but it wasn't a thing back then. So, but I had a village. I had a village of guys that helped. It's a punchline.
Yeah. Yes. It definitely. Well, I mean, I hate the fact that that quote came from Hillary Clinton.
What did she say?
Oh, it hurt me to say it.
It
came from Hillary Clinton.
Why'd you quit it? Don't quit it. Just say it.
Anyway, but there's a little bit of truth. But I don't think she actually probably came from her. She wrote it in a book. But anyways,
clean water can come out of a dirty sieve. Maybe not. Okay,
if you take a 50-gallon drum of water and you drop one drop of oil on it, you've contaminated the entire barrel.
Oh, what does that have to do with Hillary Clinton? A lot. Okay, go ahead.
you said clean water can come from a dirty still. I just wanted to give you that backwards. the things you know.
The things you know.
Okay, so real quick, another comment, because this is actually going to lead into something else I'm going to talk about here.
Yeah.
Do you think a decline in fatherhood could also be due to so many courts favoring the mother? Mothers were just given custody. But what if the courts were more equal? I wonder if it would have made it more of a difference. It would. I think it would have. But let's talk a little bit about some statistics around the U.S.
Is that going to help with that? Because I have an answer to that. But
go ahead with it.
No. Go ahead with your statistics.
Well, I was going to talk about some of the father statistics, but one of them is that there's 2 million single fathers estimated in the U.S. right now. 2
million. Yeah.
Out of 72.2 million fathers in the United States. Estimated.
I'm gonna be going back to the court question.
Yes.
Depending on where you are in the country, courts tend to be slanted. It's always there's an unspoken that says that in the best interest of the child, the mother should be that caregiver when it's a choice between the father and the mother. I don't know if it's straight across the board, but in most states, or in some states, there is that favor towards the mother.
Yeah, and I don't always agree with it. I mean, because a father can be an extremely good father, and they can be done very well, and the mother, yeah, the mother can be a good mother too. But you need to be looking at it more equally. Look at the father and what their actual role and how they've been doing, and what their ability is in there. And it's perfect. It's simpler for, I think, the courts to just hand it to the mother than it is to try to work that out and to make that determination and try to
Some
find
men
it.
give up. They just give up. They're like, it's in their favor anyway. So why just
Exactly. That's the thing, is that men have been beaten down for so long by the court system. It's in that area. So there's 24.6 million fathers in a married 2-person household with kids younger than 18 years of age. So that's saying that
you did take my notes. You are bad.
No, I didn't. I wouldn't have found my own notes.
You know what? You're lucky you're my brother. Go ahead. You can read it better than I can.
What I'm saying, we just found the best. We just found the best stats on there, and it shows that they're good stats.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So
he's feeling.
By
guilty.
the way,
he's feeling guilty, y'all.
I feel guilty. This comes from ParentsPlusKids.com, by the way.
ParentsWithKids.com.
ParentsPlusKids.com.
Parents Plus Kids. Oh, you didn't actually steal it from me.
So boom. I'm sure these came from other statistics that they shared to different sites.
Right.
17% of all single-parent households are single fathers. Yep. So let me point that. 17%.
17%.
That's 83% are single mothers, and that are done there. So
can I actually say something?
Yeah.
We have a organization that is ECW, and one of, I'm not going to say names because we don't say names on the show. We don't say names if we did, because the organization is 501c3. We love people. We love people's privacy.
Yep.
But there was maybe a couple of single fathers on that list that I believe we even took an interest in because it's so rarely seen.
Mm-hmm. It is rarely seen. It's so small.
Yep.
So the breakdown of single fathers: 44
for this Christmas, by the way.
44% are divorced, 33% never married, 19% separated, and 4.2% are widowed. 44% are divorced. So hold on to that number there.
44. Okay.
The annual income of single father is about $50,000.
Okay.
33% of all children, towards 24.7 million, live in a home without their birth father. That's a U.S. Census Bureau.
Wow.
So that's what comes back to that 44% divorced.
Oh my goodness.
I will say at least they have a father there potentially.
Yeah.
So, and it said 72.2% of Americans think that an absent father in the household is the most important problem facing American families.
Say that number again.
72.2% of Americans think that an absent father in the household is the most important problem facing American families. That comes from Fathering in America 1999 poll.
I am
out of National Center for Fathering.
Which is a very
it's
good...
It's an older poll, but
yeah.
The numbers haven't changed
very
much.
Good website to go to, actually. Because, 70%.
72%.
72%. I remember when Lena was born, and I definitely remember it was 1:02 in the morning. It was April 10th. And Amy was out, by the way. She had the Pitocin and she had the other Ocins, and she was out. She barely knew where she was. And they asked me if I wanted to cut the cord. They said, "Are you the partner?" They asked me if I was the partner.
This is a business arrangement?
I guess so.
I'd like to see the incorporation papers.
Make the baby. And I think he has, or she has a little bit of my genes in her. I don't know if I'm the partner or the dad. You are the father. I am the father. And that's what I said to them. I said, I am the father, but I don't want to cut the cord. So I did say I'm the father, though. And, but I was a partner then.
So you saying you didn't want to go Conehead on him?
Huh?
You ever seen the Coneheads movie?
No. She was blue, all sorts of blue. And I was like, and since I don't see very well, I didn't want to cut anything other than the cord. So I was like, nah, we better just stick to you doing it.
Started off as a boy. No. Got the wrong thing.
We didn't have a boy. We had a girl.
It's a joke.
I totally got it.
Anyways.
You're bad.
I am bad. Lord, I apologize. Be the starting pickings down in New Guinea. That's a Larry the Cable Guy thing.
You know what?
I give him credit for that
Here's some better statistics from 2022. You
one. I
wanna
got
hear
it.
those?
Oh yeah, go
You got
for
those
it.
too?
No, I got 2017 actually.
Okay, I got 2022. So it says there are 1.8 million solo dads in the U.S. Does that sound like your statistic there? It says statistics on absent fathers show that 7 million American dads were absent from the life of all their minor children. Divorces are one of the leading causes of fatherless homes. How come you think that is?
Uh,
I mean, divorces are on
I
the
think
rise.
I think divorces have really this become easier, and it's become an easier answer for people rather than going through the hard effort of working out the problems and sticking your way through it. It's just easier to just get a divorce and then move on, and it's not my problem anymore. I don't want to deal with it. Rather than putting in that effort, so many people just run to that first, rather than saying, "Hey, I made a commitment. I'm going to stick by it, and I'm going to find a way through the problem." Now, granted, cannot happen in every marriage. No, there's some things where yes, serious abusiveness and things like that need to be separated.
Yeah.
Those type of things I understand.
Let's emphasize,
In most cases,
and things like that.
I know a wealth of people that have recently been divorced because of stuff that was not in that box of things that like it
We
wasn't
just
abusive.
fell out of love.
It is we fell out of love, or it was we weren't the same people, or we changed over time. Well, you know what?
How many of us change over time?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I came in with a
love ain't.
I came in with a sick pack and left with a keg.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I came with a keg and left with 6.
That's what's right. No,
I still have
how
6.
many of us change and evolve over the time that people change?
Yeah, if you don't change, you're kind of standing still, right? You got to change a little bit. You got to grow to be a better man.
Yeah.
You got to go to be a better husband, a better father. You grow with that because you're learning as you go. The biggest thing I learned in life is the minute you stop learning, you're dead. Because you're always going to be learning, because you always got to be moving forward.
And you're always going to be learning about your spouse.
You're always going to be learning about everything, especially your spouse.
Yep. My love language was always, and if you ever heard the 5 love languages, read the book. It's really good. But my love language, I had 2. I still have 2. But I had it was words of affirmation and physical touch. And by the way, guys, just in case you don't know this, most guys, those are the 2 love languages: physical touch and words of affirmation, because we like attaboys. And we love the physical touch. Ask Joel.
I know what you're talking about.
But mine's changed from now. It's still physical touch, but mine as actually acts of service. So even in my 14 years of being married, I've changed, or my love language has changed. I changed. I went into the marriage with one eye. I went into marriage with 2 eyes. Now I have one. So when we say for better or for worse, it was for better or for worse.
Did you really make her that mad?
We won't talk about abuse. We have a cop that we know. We don't want to talk about abuse.
we have multiple. Some retired.
Cop friends.
Yeah. So
my name's not Tony on this show. It's Toby. Go ahead.
Toby. Wow.
I'm gonna get in trouble for that one.
Oh man.
All the hate mail. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
2017 U.S. Census Bureau. The percentage of children without a father in the United States is 43%, according to the Census Bureau. I mentioned that. 90% of runaway and homeless children are from fatherless homes. Nationwide Institute of Justice.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's from a lack of structure, a lack of discipline, and a lack of authority.
Yep.
So, and understanding authority structures and things like that. So
I can't share the parts of my work that I find that to be the case. But a lot of the boys, if there's a divorced home and the dad is not present in the home, the boy will run away and most likely find his dad.
Yeah, I think I've heard about a few stories like that. I read about a few online. So I've got a lot more statistics here, but I want to try to hit one more comment from, and then it's time for us to go to break. Okay. So it says, do you think that I already read that. Sorry. California is a great example of the family courts favoring the mother 99.9% of the time. So. Yep. And also, my mother-in-law calls me a major kiss ass.
Mother-in-law.
My mother-in-law.
Your mother-in-law?
Yeah, she says I'm a major kiss ass.
That's you?
Yeah, it says I'm a major kiss ass.
Your mother-in-law's on here?
Yeah.
You are in trouble. You are
Hey,
in trouble.
hey, she's watching.
Oh, wait a minute. Hi, Mom. I know you too. Hey, guess what? Your daughter said that I was like a brother to her. As a matter of fact, I can't tell you what else she said about that because I don't want to offend anybody. But I am her brother now. So there.
Hey, so that means you're like her son, right?
Yes. Hi, Mom. Yes, I'm like your son now.
Okay. Hey, so we're going to go ahead and go to break, guys. We got a great break here for you. And then when we get back, we're going to talk more about the fatherless homes. And then I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that maybe Tony and I do in our homes to kind of help and work with our our mothers. And
Work with our fathers.
Wow. Work with our daughters. We both have daughters. But work with our kids and things that we do and maybe some suggestions.
My daughter, just so you know.
That's why you got the chokey for, right?
Well, and that's why I got a woman to teach her too.
Exactly. Oh, good golly! If I didn't have my wife here, man, I couldn't tell you how messed up my daughter. She'd be wearing clothes like this, you know.
All day long.
She'd have a beard right now.
No. If he didn't have his wife, his daughter would be in her room all day long.
No, she wouldn't.
You are punished for a year.
She would not. She would not.
I'm telling all.
Eventually, I'd be a sucker at some point.
Yes.
Okay, guys, we're gonna go to break, and we'll see you right when we get back after break. And yeah, have fun.
Hi, this is Tony from Backwoods Brothers, and I'm here to share a moment with you. A philosophy from John Maxwell that says, everything rises and falls on leadership. I'm going to start by actually telling you the meaning behind everything rises and falls on leadership. The philosophy is that a company is only as great as its leader, creating what we call a bottleneck or a leadership lid. You've heard the philosophy that you're only as good as your leader. Well, maybe that's not true. What about staffing to your weaknesses as a leader and allowing the leadership to grow beyond the leader? Maybe if you think about as a leader this philosophy, and if you adopt it, if you're an insecure leader, you're not going to allow for the leadership under you to flourish. This leadership lid idea, if you're an insecure leader, could lead to a lot of burnout, if I haven't said that already. It can also lead to disgruntled employees under you because you're looking out for number one. And remember, there's no I in team. What if the leader says this? A leader is best when people barely know that he exists. When his work is done, his aim is fulfilled, and the people who follow him says, we did this ourselves.
Think about this, leader. How would you like it if your team says this? This is a company that I love to work with because my employer thinks that I make a difference. And not only does he think that, but he proves it by his actions. Thank you for this moment.
Guys, back from break here. I'm with my man.
Tony.
And you know me, I'm Joel. We're here at Backwoods Brothers.
Yeah.
And as you noticed,
What's this thing?
I had to go to the bathroom, but I couldn't get there in time, so I brought it with me.
It's a stinky situation.
No.
Not stinky.
Isn't this thing awesome? This is actually an outhouse, so especially made for us. I still have to glue the top down here. I haven't glued it yet.
I gotta see this.
Yeah.
Look at this. He's very protective over his outhouse, guys. Look at this.
Yeah. So gotta use it when you gotta go. You know.
Gotta go right now.
So yeah, I gotta glue this down, and then I gotta glue the door in still. I did not do that yet. Sorry. So this was actually made for us for one of our viewers,
Yes.
Star. It's the only one she said she's gonna make.
Star.
She made it specifically for us.
And it's actually like real, like
Yeah.
concrete.
It's actually,
I knocked something off there though.
You know,
It's real
knocking
concrete.
stuff down.
Sorry.
No, I haven't glued that back on.
It all kind of matches in here, you guys, with this awesome table, by the way.
Yeah. So it's I have to glue a few things. But it's got like a window here.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to open it up for the cameras here.
This looks great.
It's an here come for the straight camera here.
Actually, ooh.
There's actually toilet paper inside.
Are you serious?
How awesome is that?
Toilet paper? How did
Yeah.
you get that inside? I don't even want to talk about it.
And there's like a hole in it and everything. But yeah, this was made specifically for Backwoods Brothers, so we're gonna go ahead and get this thing glued down, and then Brandy's gonna make a nice sign that says the Backwoods Shitter.
The backwoods shitter.
So, anyways, I have something else I want to.
Oh wait! We can't say that word for the next person that's coming on.
Oh, whatever. Come on over here.
I guess
Come
Dad
on.
can make that decision.
Stand
though.
up. Stand up. This is my daughter Riley. She wanted to say hi. Don't be shy. She wanted to say hi.
Oh,
Say hi.
hi.
Okay.
By the way, this one's also
Oh,
off.
don't
But have her come over and see her uncle too. Come on.
Come over and see Uncle Tony.
So, this is the most important man in her life.
So,
Yep.
okay. Thank you, Star. We really appreciate
Don't they look alike?
the outhouse. It's amazing. We appreciate you, and we absolutely love it. And
Okay,
so, go
but
ahead.
say something to your daughter. Say something from your heart to your daughter.
Go away.
That is truly his language. Love language is like, I love you.
I love you. Go ahead.
Oh, got a kiss there. And Lita, I love you too. And so does your godfather. Speaking of that.
She almost just crashed on the way out.
Hey, cousin too.
Yes.
So I gotta tell you this, by the way. Lena, I talked to you guys about how I grew up with cousins. I grew up with uncles, men in my life that kind of just steer me in the right direction. I'm a firm believer that it does take a village, not in the way BLM does, but I am definitely a firm believer of parents and people in my daughter's life that can speak things that I can't speak. And so my brother here is my daughter's godfather, which I absolutely...
I'm the godfather.
The godfather. It's an East Coast thing, but I grew up with a godmother and a godfather, and I thought that would be something good for us to make a part of the tradition for Lena. So he gets to speak into her life things that I couldn't, and I couldn't.
If you only knew.
And I couldn't pick a better guy to do it. So, oh, you got to do this right, bro. Oh, stop!
Come on. Come on.
You do that on purpose. Go on with the show. Go on with the show. Hey. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, but we're talking about
Hey,
fathers.
we're talking about fathers, yo.
Okay,
The Godfather.
but I gotta say this right here. You gotta come over here. There's a godmother that is married to this godfather, who is absolutely amazing, and you see her tomorrow night. But she's loved my daughter in ways that I really, really think adds to our family richly.
And by the way, I'd like to show you two.
What are you doing? You're not farting in front of me. Tell him to sit down.
I'm getting the thing off the
Oh,
table.
I thought he was farting because that's what he does, guys.
How do you get to our?
Now that I'm all alone, I can finally talk with you guys on some real stuff. Oh, Joel's coming back.
I was getting handing off to our production team.
What were you gonna say, bro?
I don't know.
Okay, I got some more stuff for you, but do you have any audience questions?
Oh yeah, let me take a look real quick. So let me see here. We got other than the producer yelling at us. Oh, here it goes. Oh my goodness, I just. Well, okay, so we got a really massive comment. It is massive, so I'm probably not going to read the whole thing. So I think the fathers today are quite different from my generation. I'm sure that they are.
Oh, wait a minute. That begs to ask for further explanation. Is there a further explanation on that?
Oh yeah. There it's a book.
Can we
Well,
cherry
yes.
pick?
Yeah, I'm reading through it. They grew up in the 30s and 40s and went through such hard times. Yeah, that's definitely different times than today. That's almost 100 years ago.
Yeah.
So, they had a clear view and obligation to their families. That's the thing is actually really clear. Is the is really different from today. Is the obligation that men hold towards their families. So many of them, you know, they forget that when they've chosen to become a father, chosen to become a husband,
But because many of them probably grew up without fathers too. Though.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, I believe extremely heavily in obligation. I believe heavily in your word is your bond. I believe heavily in, you know, don't speak it unless you mean it type of thing.
I'm a heavy believer in this.
Yeah.
Men mentoring men.
Yes, definitely.
Because
When you say
we're
but-
talking about generational issues.
when you say men, I want to be very clear about the definition of men.
Uh-huh.
There's a man,
Yeah.
and then there's men. So, and the reason I'm saying that definition, that particularly point out because
Mankind, or
yeah, there's the male species,
right.
but then there's men. You know,
Mhm.
there's a man. There's men. When I say that, I don't mean like, oh, you know, toxic. No, I'm talking about a man or a man is someone who holds the obligation to you know, be the foundation for the family, to provide, protect,
okay.
to give guidance, be the spiritual head of the household, things
But
like that.
You know, this is Backwoods Brothers, and it wouldn't be Backwoods Brothers. We didn't throw in something controversial. What about the Boy Scouts? What's up with that?
What about the Boy Scouts? You mean the fact that they're Boy Scouts?
No, I mean they changed the meaning of Boy Scouts, didn't they?
I don't even care what they cheer it.
Yes,
One of my favorite.
They changed the meaning of Boy Scouts.
One of the favorite questions I ever got given to Ben Shapiro is someone asking why can't girls be in the Boy Scouts?
Oh,
And
you
he
got
said,
it.
He says because it's the Boy Scouts, and
The Boy Scouts.
they go, well, where is it written? And he goes, in the name, Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts. Boy Scouts. Anybody with a penis is a boy. Okay, sorry I had to say that, guys. Boy Scouts. Boy Scouts. Boy Scouts. But that's another. I mean, when we start confusing that, then we lose the power of mentoring as well.
Yes, and you know, and that's something I think we need to have a conversation on some point, specifically to talk about the whole gender thing going on these days and the problems that's causing for our kids and stuff like that, because that's a major issue there too.
It is. It is really hard to have a full engulfed conversation without bringing up those nuanced pieces.
Yeah. So
but we're gonna stay in our lane, I guess.
Yeah. For
Let's stay in our
tonight,
lane
for tonight we're going
we
to.
didn't do our homework yet on that one. So.
For tonight we're going to do that, but I think
Yeah.
that is something we could talk about in the future, because I believe that's a massive issue and challenging fatherhood as well.
Yeah.
But without giving a deep, in-depth piece to it,
Yeah.
it's hard to explain where we're coming from there. Other
But
than
what the spinoff was men mentoring men. Or
Exactly.
boys, men mentoring boys, even in a way that this viewer posted.
yeah, and there's a lot more to it. And
Being an honorable man.
I
being a man of
recommend-
his word.
I recommend reading it. It's probably on the Facebook comments, so if you want to read that, it's on there.
Yeah.
But it's a lot to it. It looks.
Oh.
I'm knowing who the writer is.
Yeah.
It's probably a pretty good read.
because I'm a Christian, I would be amiss to not recommend a book to you guys. It's called The Fatherhood of God.
Mhm.
It's actually one of the books, you can find it on Amazon, but it's one of the first books I read when I gave my life to the Lord because I didn't have a father. So when I gave my life to him, he became my father, and I wanted to find out what his fathering looked like in my life. And so The Father's Heart of God is really a good book. It's an easy one to read.
Yeah. Actually,
That's why I have it.
I just read something here that's actually it's a pretty good point to make, and so I want to bring that up, and I think it might be something that we're going to touch on too.
Yeah.
There's next to 0 men's services in comparison to women's services. The courts are also automatically assume that the male is the abuser, which honestly is against the law, but it's commonplace and nobody bats an eye.
Absolutely.
So, but the point I want to bring up there is the 0 men's services, almost no services for men.
Yeah.
When it comes to it, yeah. If you actually look at a lot of the social services out there, a lot of them tend to lean towards supporting the male. For example, WIC,
Yep.
Women's Infant Children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a good example of it right there. So
and they serve a good purpose, so we're not complaining about that. But at the same time, you're right. There's definitely
and that's just what I'm trying to say. Is they do serve a good purpose because they've fed a lot of mothers that are feeding their childs and things. But the point, the purpose of it is that it shows that the society is leaning one way than the other when it comes down to an equal support of men fathers and of men that are single fathers versus women that are single fathers. Now, primarily because there's a larger majority of them possibly, but that could be an argument made. But it also, there's a larger majority too, because in some cases, because that's the way the court system makes it.
Right.
So, and they make it easy. They also make it easy for the father to escape too.
They make it easy for the father to escape.
Yeah. Oh, I can just pay some money out and not have to worry about it.
Yes.
No, hold that father and that man accountable to make him have to see his kids. Make them have to support them in other ways. Make them drive them to the soccer games and do those things. Buy the clothes and take them to school. Get that father involved in that kid's life, because that kid will also change how that father is too.
You know, one of my most painful times, but one of my most joyous times was Father's Day, because I didn't have a father on Father's Day. But when I became a father, Father's Day was much better. I told my daughter, "Don't give me a tie. Don't give me something that you've always given me. Give me what if Mom can get a dinner." If Mom can get going out and doing all that kind of stuff, Dad can too. But it's this emphasis on Mother's Day, but there's not as much of an emphasis on Father's Day. Usually it's Parents' Day, or it's framed in another way because of absentee fathers. Mm-hmm. So I want to bring Father's Day back to be a celebration of men, a celebration of fathers who stuck in, and you know, and honor that, So.
Trying to open my notes again, and it's...
Well, while you're opening your notes, why don't I go down here real fast, because you said you're going to talk about something. Yeah. And I want to go really fast to... I could sit here all day and look at what men aren't, or how they're being victimized, but I would be amiss to say that there's also some tips for dads who are engaged with supporting their families and their loved ones. And one is spend time with your child.
Yes.
2 is discipline with love and positive parenting. Be your child's role model. Earn the right to be heard. That's what I like. I've always been a proponent of earn the right to be heard. Earn the right to be heard. Be your child's teacher. Eat together as a family, which is very hard to do anyway.
Yeah, it's something we've started really pushing in recently, is eating together as a family.
Yes, and this is for dads too. Respect the other parent of your child. And it says here, and seek involvement early with your child.
Yes, and so a couple things is kids are smart. Don't assume that they're not.
Yeah.
My daughter is very smart. I know that for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
And she proves it to me often.
Yeah.
And the big thing is that my wife and I have realized over time that if we try to talk about things to deal with managing Riley when she's around, she'll take advantage of that. And so usually we're getting to the point now where if we want to talk about Riley when it comes to about how to dealing with something or a plan or change or something, we usually tell her to go do something, and we pull something into our room and have a conversation. Something that's hard to do is when you're doing it, we still find ourselves tripping up on, that we're working on ourselves and consistently trying to improve on, is try not to come against the other parent in front of the parent. If you don't agree with what's going on there, is because what that does is that opens up a way for your child to see a weakness that they can exploit. And they are like sharks.
Yeah.
They will go to that weakness and they will exploit it, and they will rip it apart any way they can, because a child doesn't have the full understanding and capacity of everything in their thinking at that age to understand, what's actually happening. They know that they want something, and they're very center focused, because that's how
egocentric.
Yeah, and as you get older, your focuses start to open up to more and more things. But when you're younger, you are the most central focused you are, because your world is this small, and then as you get older and older, your world begins to expand. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, psychologist over here. But and as your world begins to expand, so they're going to be focusing on, they have a goal in mind. They want that cookie, they want that, play that game, or they want to watch TV or whatever it is. And so if they see a way to exploit that, whether it's cry to mommy, say this, do that, throw themselves on the ground and kick and scream because it works, they're going to do that. And they see, if hey, mom doesn't agree with dad, then I might have a chance to win this. Or dad doesn't agree with mom, then maybe I'll try to win dad over with my tricks there, to get what I can, and try to override the other. It's called Mama Dada. I played it a lot when I was a kid, and I was quite good at it, unfortunately.
You were.
Yes, and so and unfortunately, karma. My daughter's is.
Don't you hear your parents go, "You're gonna get it back when you have
Yep,
your kid."
and it's coming back around.
And I'm like, what?
And so my daughter's very well about trying to use that, and so my wife and I have caught on to it, and now we're much more aware of it.
Team.
Yeah, and I can talk about the always learning type of thing.
Yeah,
that's part of always learning.
Always learning.
And so we're working on it. But the biggest thing is that we've learned is take the conversation into another room, and even if you don't agree with that parent at the time, short of it being unsafe, back the parent up in front of them, and then go back, talk about another room, and you can come back with a different plan later.
As wrong as rain, but dad or mom is always right in front of the child. The other thing is this, moms, don't villainize and wait for dad to get home, for dad to lower the boom. Don't make the dad the object of wrath. And I don't think it's that much played out as it used to be. It used to be, well, when your father gets home, there's going to really be the lower boom. And then the dad tends to be the person that you can't have that caring relationship with.
Don't be afraid to take them boys out behind the woodshed.
Well, now that's a whole nother show that we'll talk about. Maybe what discipline really looks like and how that's been railroaded. Anyways, but yeah, just when moms say wait till dad gets home, it literally takes the power away from mom to manage the situation.
Exactly. I think that parents tend to do that, and I think it's sometimes it's the other way. It's and I'm guilty of this a lot.
Oh, you did it? Wait till mom gets home?
No, well, yeah, I've actually done that a few times, but
wait till mom gets home.
It's because I didn't want to deal with it, but that's the thing is sometimes I get busy, and I'm guilty of this one, and I'm getting better at it. Yeah. But it's if I'm really busy, I work from home, and so I'm in the middle of a meeting, whatever else. My daughter may come in to ask me for something, and I was like, what did mommy say? And she says, okay, well, that's what you can do. Go ask mommy. And at the same time,
so you're like water. You take the least point of resistance.
And sometimes by doing that is putting that off to the other parent. All the time.
Deferring.
That's relieving the authority out of you that you carry as well. Yes. And placing it solely into the parent's hands. So
and kids learn that.
Yeah,
and so ask mom first then.
Yeah. And so, while there's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, you don't want to delineate that authority from you. And so vice versa, well, what's your father have to say about this? Well, that's a good question to take though, because if they're going to be honest about it or not.
Right. What does your father say first?
But yeah, it's understanding. Be able to and be willing to make your own decision as a parent, and then the other parent, whether be willing to back that up, no matter what it is.
How do you view this, Joel? Train up a child in the way they should go, and when they're old, they will not flee from it. That was one of the ones that you quoted for fathers specifically. Train up a child in the way they should go.
I think there's one of the biggest things is children will be raised by the example that we set.
Yep.
And so training up the father, training up the child is not necessarily about simply telling them what to do. The whole "do as I say, don't do as I do" does not really work. And
it's a bad way to parent, guys. Do as I say, don't do as I do. We model to our kids how we should
and
act.
I will tell you, I am very guilty of that.
You are? See,
yes.
My mom said that to me a lot. I learned not to.
I know that I've been working heavily on trying to fix that, and I think that's something I'll be struggling with, and most people will the rest of their life. But you try to act out how you should be, because of the father. When it comes to a daughter, it's our job as a father to show that daughter how a man should act. How a man should treat her, what a man should do for a woman, how a man should be expected to.
That.
Exactly. We are modeling to her what a man is, and she's going to look for that, and she's going to model that in the man that she seeks out.
They used to have this thing called daddy-daughter dates.
Yeah,
I went on a daddy-daughter date.
I take my daughter on some too.
Have you?
Hmm? Sometimes I don't always get to them as much as I want.
Wasn't there one in Estacada where we live? There was one a couple years ago, but there needs to be more of those times.
You talk about a pre-arranged like a thing where
literally daddy-daughter date.
I literally just grab my daughter and take her for ice cream, and we have a daddy-daughter date like that.
That's awesome.
And there's nothing wrong. I mean, fathers, like I said, spend time with your kids.
Spend time with your kids. It used to be the Archie Bunker type, where the dad didn't spend time with the kids. The mom did, and he came home and brought home the bacon. Yeah, and that was good enough.
Well, I have a lot of mentors in my life, and some that I consider fatherly to me. My dad and I have had some pretty rough parts in our relationship and things, especially recently. And so there's one particular person that I consider to be a very important role model in my life, and that person knows who he is. I mean.
Shucks, you shouldn't say that about me. I'm your brother. I'm not your dad.
You ain't my dad.
No, we know who you're talking about.
I will bitch slap.
Watch it. How does that be bitch? We're talking about men. Men, don't be bitches.
Anyways,
Don't be bitches.
But this person knows who he is, and he actually he is. I mean, you're my brother, and he's my mentor, and he's like a father. He's like a father to me, and he's also one of my best friends.
Absolutely.
So, and it's okay to have multiple best friends.
You can only have one brother, but multiple best friends.
Exactly. So,
but more than one brother.
I actually have some other. I have an actual blood brother too, but even I don't talk. You're much closer to me than he ever is. So.
Oh, bro, we're having a moment right here. Go ahead.
We're here, Backwoods brother.
No, we're Backwoods brother. Hey, really, detour real fast.
Yes.
Aren't we supposed to be talking about somebody who, just real fast, detour from the father talk? Aren't we a concert coming up?
Oh, we're gonna get to that.
Oh, well, I'm gonna shut my mouth.
He is getting out of his lane.
I'm gonna stay. Whoa, that's another show. I'm supposed to stay in my lane now, y'all. Woo!
The extra stuff you don't see afterward is where Tony beats the hell out of me.
Somebody's
said what during the show, boy?
All right, he's a racist. He's not a racist, folks.
No. But there is something I do want to talk about as we're closing the show out. I'm gonna talk about.
Keep going. You're on a soapbox, so about.
I'll say nice things. Yeah, but the thing is, one of the things that I enjoy most doing with him is projects. Mm-hmm. And so fathers who have sons take the time to do projects with them, even if it's small. That's because good. It matters, because you're working on something, you're creating something, you're being productive together. Yes. It teaches them something, and it's just time spent together. And so I really enjoy that. And, I didn't, when I was younger, I didn't do that as much with my dad, and I think that might change some things and stuff. But
I didn't do that either, because I didn't have a dad, and so being visually impaired and not have a dad, I don't know how to change a car tire.
Oh, I know how to change a car tire. I took shopping school.
This is not about you. This is not about you. This is about
I'm actually wondering.
No, but
I wonder if my dad could change a car tire.
But those things that you learn from your dad, those things that you learn from a man, when you don't have those types of things, how do you pass them on to your kids? I'm looking at Google, I'm looking at YouTube, and I'm relying on her vision. So, but you could still make up for that. If you didn't grow up without a dad, you guys, if you didn't grow up without a father, you can have mentors. You can find out things.
You took where I was going with that. But exactly. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh, no, you go. I'm about to preach.
Oh, no, preach it, because that's exactly what I was going with it. And it's a good layover.
You can say it.
I give it to you.
Rock, paper, scissors. Okay. No, but no, there's ways that you can make up for those times. I don't think you're ever too old. And I think you modeled that. I don't think you're ever too old to have a father figure in your life. I don't think you're ever too old to have to learn those things you didn't learn from your dad, and have those mentors or those men teach you that. Or your brother. Like, if I want to know something about how to do something, I'm most likely going to ask Joel how to do it.
Vice versa.
Because I didn't have it. Vice versa. Probably. I'm a little bit more of the feeler in the group, but yeah. When it comes to hardware, you're good at it.
You have taught me a lot of things when it comes down to introspection and things like that, and you've got me to open up about a few things that I haven't. So
that's the female side of me, because I was brought up by my mom.
No. It's a brotherly side.
It's a brotherly thing.
But yeah, so I think it's actually important, like you said, get a mentor.
Get a mentor.
Even if
no matter how old you are, get a mentor.
You have your dad be your mentor, but it's also good to have other male mentors in your life if you're a man, to see that. And,
they're still out there.
Yeah, exactly.
They're still out there.
So exactly, and so if you're a young lady growing up and you didn't have a father, get those male, solid male, positive influences in your life. So especially if you're younger, get those so you understand what a man should be, how they should treat a lady, and you should understand that's what you should be looking for when you're looking for a mate.
Is it true that still women girls will still marry someone like their father?
I think it's very true. I mean, I don't have a statistic behind that, but that's just been my experience. Now, I do know that there are, not every woman's going to marry a man and things like that. You don't have to have a man, and you have your heavenly father for that type of stuff as well.
Actually, so. I hope she talks about that. We heard our producer say, "Not me."
Yeah.
She didn't. I don't know about the history of that, but how do women
get
those mentors?
Even my wife, my father-in-law is a piece of shit. So, and he has pretty much abandoned my wife and her and his granddaughter, and so by doing that, he has not presented how to be a man to her, and so my wife has replaced him by finding people that are good men that she basically has as a father figure in her life.
She said that because there's one time we were talking about
I want to point out,
syndrome.
He's a piece of shit, by the way.
Yeah, so. We were talking about Stockholm syndrome on one of our shows.
Yeah.
And she was talking about how the abusive past of men had led her actually to finding a man who won't do that. You.
Yeah.
And you've become... So she didn't marry her father when she married you.
Well... I don't think she was putting him in that. She was saying the previous boyfriend she had had.
Yeah.
But and her dad, when I met him, he seemed like a good, upstanding man. And that's where the thing is that gets a good point to make a point is, fathers, your job's not done solely when your daughter is married or your son's married off. It says in the Bible biblically they join into one, and that's their family and everything else.
They leave and cleave, but they still come back.
Yeah, they come back because they need those ongoing role models and those life experience that you have to bring to them. Your job is not done when they're married. Your job continues on, but it changes.
Yes, it does.
The responsibility, protections, and all this type of stuff is now laid into the husband, or if the husband is, you have a son, then your son's job is now protecting that wife, but you're still a mentor to your son. You're still a mentor to your daughter on how to have a good marriage, how to be a good father, how to be a good husband, or so on.
They used to have these programs called Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Do they have those again still?
I think they're still out there, but I think they've altered a little bit. So,
but in the mentoring thing of brothers, men, young women, but you're right. It's the job doesn't stop when my daughter turns 18. As a matter of fact, it just begins, because she's gonna probably come to me and say, "How do I deal with my husband?" And I'm like, like, "Girl, you chose him, so."
I swear to God, when he comes to bed, he has the worst breath of it. Oh, that screen just changed over. You showed me off.
He has the worst breath. You're talking about me again. But girl, I have the worst breath too. I know I married
by the way, girls do fart when they sleep.
They do. We don't want
Yes.
to talk about that, though, because y'all ladies can talk to Brandy about that tomorrow night. Okay. That's a huge problem. Girls who fart and the men that love them.
Yes,
Okay.
that's gonna be a book. I'm gonna write a book about that, man.
Oh.
You just gave me the title.
You know what I did as a man? When
Yes.
I got married, we had our honeymoon. I said, "You're mine now." So I put the covers over the head and started farting away.
Dutch oven.
Dutch oven. And we're still
Okay.
together.
Okay, guys. We're coming. We have like
Wow.
been about 10 minutes left in the show here, but
Okay.
so
Any comments?
I'm sure. Oh, that was there's probably a boatload of comments.
Okay, come on, y'all.
I've been reading stats and talking to you about everything.
I know.
and-
See, luckily.
Wait, it's okay. It's about to jump. I
Okay.
have to scroll back up here.
Okay. Sorry, y'all. We'll get you in on it. We were having a good conversation. This is what happens all the time, though.
So it says, "I'm Tony. I'm feeling left out. I must have missed you telling me that you love me too."
Who's that?
Kurt.
Kurt, I love you too, man. If you didn't see the show last week, which has 70 something views on YouTube,
Run,
you
Kurt,
need to-
run.
Kurt, run. You need to check it out. Last week's show. Check it out. Kurt's the man.
He had some great things to say. I
Yes,
really
he
recommend
did.
watching him.
A law
Great guy there.
enforcement, awesome guy.
Yes.
Retired law enforcement.
The most influential parental figure in a child's life is their same-sex parent. So for boys, their dad, and for girls, their mama. I've got only 2 jobs when it comes to Trina. Love her unconditionally, protect her. Now, under those 2 items are multitudes of things.
Kurt is a man who loves his wife. Last week, we were inviting him after the show. We'd like to go for tacos. And he goes, "I need to be with my wife." And as a man, we didn't argue with that. We're like, "Go, bro.
Yeah.
Go, bro.
I mean, but
Go."
it was tacos.
Yeah, it was tacos, though. Where's
I'm
your
just saying,
priorities?
there's
But we'll
tacos.
talk about that later.
Taco Wednesday.
He's like, "It's my wife."
Yeah. Taco Wednesday.
But he had steak, though. Anyways, I remember that,
yeah.
Kurt. He had steak.
Say no more. Say no more. In this day and age, there are more sperm donors than fathers.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true, unfortunately.
Kids will manipulate mothers and fathers for their needs and even create a division. Mothers and fathers must be on the same page. So if the child runs to the mother because dad says no, she should also say no. And like I said,
Well, my daughter gets in trouble.
yeah.
If she tries to pit us against each other,
Mhm.
she gets the double whammy.
My daughter knows that I'm going to ask Mama what she said.
Yep.
And so she knows she can't play that because I'm
She
going to
knows
find
it,
out.
doesn't she?
So our house is so small that I can practically hear when she says no.
That is so true. Like, I'm talking to bro, and sis can hear, and she has supersonic ears. She's in the bathroom and saying, "What did you say?" Yeah.
I'm like, we were whispering on the phone in the closet in the other room.
Yes, but no, she can't get away with much in that house, can she?
And he shall turn the heart of fathers to the children and the heart of children to their fathers.
Thank you. That was my other verse I didn't share, but that's absolutely true.
Yeah, I had a lot more verses in here too, by the way.
Yeah. If we're going to bring up the other verse, it also says in the last days that our kids will become enemies of their parents and things like that. It's a warning to us parents to really, in this day and age, make sure that the family structure is sacred and strong. Because there's so many influences speaking into our kids' lives. School,
internet,
school,
internet, Facebook, TikTok.
So many. So
Talkity
it's very
tick.
important that each parent is on the same
Tweeter.
page. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, Tweeter. It's Tweeter thing.
My dog. Yeah.
What's that? InstaSam or something?
Yeah. Instasam.
Yeah.
Instasam.
What is there? What's the other one? There's
TikTok.
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 I think it's a bad clock.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there's some other one. You got Luke 15:20. But when he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. So this is about the ran to him and threw his arms around him and kissed him.
Okay, so actually, I want to say something with that one.
Yeah.
The pastor is coming out in me because I was a former pastor, you guys. So I love that
Thus
story.
saith Tony.
Thus saith Tony. No, this is thus saith the Lord. It's not for me though. Jesus said it. But that's one of my favorite stories because actually it shows the heart of the father. It shows the heart of the father in discipline. It shows the heart of the father in nurturing and empathy. And as a matter of fact, when that kid returned home, he goes, "I am not worthy to be called your son." And the father didn't even in his strength answer that. What he did was the kid was literally on the ground. He picked him up off the ground and put the finest robe around him and said, "You are my son."
Solder
And
the
so-
finest calf.
Yes.
Mhm.
So it was literally like, you know what? You're made new. Come into my house. You're welcome here, and I'm throwing a party for you.
Oh yes,
That's the way fathers should be.
yes. It's unconditional love.
Unconditional love.
Unconditional love.
Yep.
So unfortunately, not all
I got
fathers
it.
understand and get that today.
Yep.
So we are coming to the end of our show here, but I wanted to say we are going to be attending the Jessie Lee concert on the 12th of next month.
Yes.
She's doing it. She has a big old barn. She's doing a barn party.
Where's her?
Let's
Where's her
have a
picture?
party.
Where's her CD?
Oh, it's on the production table.
Okay. Can I just say a little bit more?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jessie Lee is a country singer, up and coming.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
telling. No, she's not up and coming. She is already coming. And the cool part about her is she's been in Nashville. She sings all over the place, and we get an opportunity to just be there with her that night and some other things. Well, we're not going to talk about.
Yeah. Oh, we've actually are going to be emceeing for her.
You just told everybody.
I know.
We're
I
gonna
know.
be-
I couldn't hold
he
it in. I
wanted
was
to-
excited.
Yes, we are. We are. And
It's-
can I tell them can I tell the other thing?
No. No.
Oh, that's
No.
true. Okay, I cannot
No.
say. And if you did hear it online, you can't say either.
Yeah. By the way, you can't let the door out. There's something special happening that night.
Can't
But,
let the door out.
You can't let the door out. I don't know what that even meant. I don't know what that even
Don't
meant.
let the door out, guys. Don't let the door out.
Yes.
Sign the blank. Blank.
Don't- Don't leave the dog open so the door doesn't get out.
Well, we're gonna be there that night.
Yeah, we're gonna be there tonight.
And we're gonna be hosting.
We're gonna be hosting.
So
Well, emceeing.
MC. should
I'm
we-
going emceeing.
Oh, not,
emceeing.
yeah, we're MCing. We're not hosting. She's
She's hosting. We're emceeing.
We're gonna figure out what
But
our role is.
I want to say though, yeah, I'll call and see exactly what she wants us to do.
No, I'm talking about. I need to figure it out on the show so I can tell them what our role is.
Yeah,
Am I hosting or
I've
emceeing?
actually never emceed. So, but the thing is, I
You
want to point
haven't?
out. No, this is my first time.
This is your first
And-
time.
yeah,
I've done it.
and I am very honored for that she would entrust us a bunch of crazy guys on the show.
Yeah.
To allow us to MC
Let me
her.
practice. Let me show you how to do it. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're so glad you're here at the Jessie Lee Show. Backwoods brother. Okay,
I know.
we got it. Okay, I got it. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I'm gonna get a call in like 5 minutes. Say, never mind, guys.
I know, really. If you're watching, Jessie, we're so much better than that. Okay, just so you know. You're safe with us.
Anyways, so but yeah, so we're really excited. It's it's February 12th.
February 12th. Put it on your
7
calendar.
7:30.
Yep.
And if you'd like to get the address, if you don't know where it's
It's
at,
a bar party.
reach out to Jessie on her Facebook, Jessie Lee.
Jessie Lee.
Make sure when you do, you subscribe to her Facebook if you're not already, and check all her videos on there
Yes.
and her YouTube.
Good stuff.
Oh yeah, she's got some cool stuff
Show
on
the
there.
hat. Show the hat. Show
Oh
the
yeah,
hat.
by the way, this is the Jessie Lee hat.
The Jessie Lee hat.
It's actually one of my favorite hats.
This is the Jessie Lee headband, but she doesn't know that yet.
She doesn't know yet. But yeah, so but swing up there and message her, and she can request the address from her, and she'll take care of all that.
Yes.
So, but February
Upcoming
12th,
star.
7:30, come and rock it out, and a barn party there.
She's amazing.
Oh yeah, she and I've been to a bunch of her stuff already. She is so fun there.
Yeah.
So
You actually have her more on your Facebook than you have me.
I'm not gonna talk about that. No, I'm just kidding. No, you're on there all the time, man. You're on all the time. No, I just think it's so awesome that that we have a rising star from right here in our own town.
Yes.
That's like going out to Nashville and doing
Yeah.
doing great
Doing
things
some great things.
and really putting SDK on the map. And so I think that's proud, you know.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut though. Almost got us in trouble again.
That is not getting us in trouble.
Again.
You're being weird. So, anyways, I'm not with him. He just showed up on the show one day, and
Guys, we're reaching a year, and
it was supposed to be the Backwoods brother, and he just showed up one day.
Wow, we didn't start that way a year ago.
No,
See-
it's awesome.
See,
This has been, like I said, we have
fun.
almost been a year,
yeah,
and it has absolutely been a blast.
yes,
We have gone from, if you watch our very, very first one, first of all, this beard is almost non-existent.
yeah.
So you guys have literally watched this beard grow over the year. You can actually almost see it time-lapsed.
yeah,
And then
I had really short dreads.
oh yeah,
I'll look it up now.
I have to take a see. I don't remember how short they were.
They were short.
And then on top of that, we had a green screen, and we turned it from our living room into our studio.
yeah,
And then we had to put everything back. My wife hated it and loved it. She hated it because we'd move everything around in the living room for a night. It would take like 6 hours, something like that. She wouldn't have a living room, but she also loved it because the living room would get cleaned every day.
There's one thing about your
every time we
wife,
did it.
though, and I got to bring it back to the man thing. There's one thing about I see your wife doing, and she always supports you.
Oh yes,
As the man of the house, she supports you.
I would not be where I am today and the things that I'm doing if I did not have the support of an amazing, loving wife.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
And I'm not even gonna make a joke about that because it's true.
Yep.
And honey, I said it. So am I good to go for the day, or Denny?
she's like in the show quickly.
Okay, guys. Hey, thanks for watching. It was a really
Yes.
fun show today. Hopefully, we've been able to share some information with you about fatherless impacts in the family.
Mm.
And by all means, we would love to take questions and stuff like that on
Yes.
here and talk about some more stuff.
One more thing about your Facebook, you've been trying to engage that a little bit more by questions and certain things.
Yeah. We're really trying to get more engagement on the Facebook page, guys. I really appreciate it if you could help us out. So if we're posting something, please give us a response, thumbs up, like, share it. We are trying to build our audience and build that out. So we depend on you guys. Without you guys watching and everything else, we have no point of being here. So it's all about you guys, and
It's all about you.
really appreciate it. We are always open for suggestions, feedbacks, comments.
Just make it
and
loving.
Like,
That's
for
all.
example, they said for me not to wear my my stupid hat in the other one. So guess
Woo!
what? I'm keeping the hat's buried until
He says buried, but it was a bonfire.
actually it's sitting on it's buried because it's on my desk.
It's in the
somewhere.
outhouse.
It's actually on my desk somewhere,
Oh God.
and so therefore it's
He'll
buried.
never find it. He'll never find it.
Actually, I had to clean my desk the other day. I took a school test.
Oh, yeah, the one he studied for an hour. Okay,
Yeah.
anyways.
Well, anyways, okay, guys. Well, hey, thanks again for joining us. We will see you guys next week at 7 p.m.
Yes.
And we were supposed to have a guest on, and I haven't confirmed with him, but I'm going to keep that a secret for now. And so look for that during the week to announce who it's going to be.
It's me.
Well, besides him. He's old news now.
According to you, this is my last show.
I know what you're talking about. If Tony disappears, I don't know. No, just kidding. So, yeah.
The shadow goes down.
Tomorrow, 7 o'clock, we got Brandy's
Brandy.
Campfire Discussions with Brandy.
Yes.
And so look for that tomorrow. Come join. She's going to be talking about the motherly perspective. Never said it was
you to also with Brandy?
Never said it was a stupid hat. You just look like Fidel.
Oh, that's funny. So if you're with Brandy and you do art, sit down and do art with her.
Yeah, she
as
paints
you're
stuff.
watching. She paints stuff.
Yeah, she paints stuff, and she's actually started a project last time.
Yeah.
And she's going to work the project through until its completion. And
I heard you encouraged her to do that.
I don't talk. That's all her idea. I don't speak into her. She's genius by herself. She doesn't need me putting into that crap.
Ooh, good man.
Yeah. So.
Tried to set you up.
Honestly, most of this is her idea. I mean, the design, everything. She helped put it all together. I just, she gives me a script and I read from the script.
You said yes, ma'am.
Yes, and my wife is the most beautiful person in the world, and I love her very much. Did I get that right? I love you, honey. You're awesome. Okay, thanks, guys. We will see you guys at the next round here next week. Thanks so much, and have a good one.